You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Although Hidden Traps is not officially released until August 1st, you can pre-order your paperback or ebook copy now from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Welcome to Southern Sisters Radio, the show for Southern women and the men who adore them. Join us as we celebrate life from a Southern point of view. Here's your host, author, founder of Southern Sisters Home, Jenny McCormick Earhart.
Hey there, and welcome to the Southern Sisters Radio program. Here we are in the South, and it's a Saturday, and I'm relaxed.
Yes.
Oh. You know, Saturday is the reward for enduring the week.
Isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Especially when it's been a week like this one.
It's been a tough one, right?
Yeesh.
It's been a little crazy.
Traffic's also been doubly as awful because, you know the road that everyone's been using to get past, the road that collapsed? We're going to close that one, too. Great idea.
Okay, so I saw this I guess, meme on Facebook, and it was the 4 horses of the apocalypse, like, coming towards you. And on the breastplate of each one, like, one said, I-85. The other one said, I-75, I-20. I don't remember what the fourth one was.
Probably I-285.
Yeah, well, I think it was, actually. It's insane. Crazy. But you know what? Right now, we're not in traffic.
No.
We're right here.
Yes,
and I always do say, even when I'm stuck in traffic, it's an opportunity to kind of, if you can get beyond the stress that you inevitably feel when you're behind the wheel of any metropolitan city, quite frankly, right? Not just Atlanta.
True.
For me, it's an opportunity to kind of relax. It's all about my music. I'm listening to that does keep me calm.
Very true.
It tends to take the edge off of my road rage.
Yeah, I've noticed when I'm sitting in this traffic, I can't listen to my rock music. Right. I got to go more like jazzy.
Yep.
Kind of keeps my mood down a little while.
I know,
Someone cuts me off, I'm just like, whatever.
Just chilling out with some, Miles Davis, and I'm as calm as can be.
Perfect.
Right? Life in the fast lane, not so much.
Yeah, because the fast lane's going, 15 right now?
It's not going very fast. It's not. Well, guys, we are so happy that you're here to join us, quite frankly, every Saturday. We love that you're here as part of our show. We are the show for Southern women and the men who adore them, which means that we're really the show for everyone. Because you've got a woman in your life. You either are a woman or you have a woman in your life that you adore.
Absolutely.
You've got several.
And
right?
even if you're not a Southern woman, you got a little bit of Southern in you somewhere, no matter where you're from.
It doesn't take long. It's like you move to the South, it's kind of like a virus.
It grows on you.
You get infected.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it's the good kind, though. Not the zombie apocalypse kind.
It's a positive thing.
It's a positive thing, right? And we are just so happy to celebrate life in the South. And we love to talk about everything on this show, from food to culture to entertainment. We're working on a travel segment for next week on Savannah, Georgia, which you guys are going to have to be sure and tune in for. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Got some behind-the-scenes secret for you for how to get the most out of your trip to Savannah.
Some insider tips?
Insider tips.
Nice.
Yeah, Southern Sisters is, we got some connections down there. Let's just put it that way. Last week, we were busy at this time last week. Nick, because you were there.
Yeah, we were at
the Pinners Conference.
That was so much fun.
Wasn't it fun?
It was so much fun.
I am so glad you enjoyed yourself, because it's a little bit hard to explain to people if you haven't been there. Was it what you thought it was going to be?
It was actually not what I thought it was going to be. It was a lot more shopping and creativity being put out there than I thought.
Right.
I spent way more money than I intended while I was there.
Isn't that the truth? I mean, I came home with everything from jam, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, to, I bought some of those peach skin bed sheets.
We did too. They're amazing.
Are they amazing?
And we got the bamboo pillows.
Oh, you got the bamboo
those
pillows
are so
too.
Nice.
Aren't those wonderful? I came home right away, and I always wash things before I put them on the bed. So I washed the peach skin sheets and put them on the bed. And Earl and I got in that night. We were just kind of like, I mean, it was just, I don't know what it is. You don't heat up. It's some kind of microfiber material.
They're soft, but they're not like hot.
No.
Because those nice soft sheets you put on in the wintertime, and they kind of get a little too warm maybe if you don't have
they
the ceiling
heat you
fan.
up a little bit.
Those are nice
not
all the way around. Oh, they were great.
I am loving those. Are my new. I really kind of want to get a second set.
You only got one?
I only got one.
We got two.
Did
Come
you?
on. You got to go all in, Jenny.
Well, these were the kinds of things that we saw at the Pinners Conference, right?
Yes.
We both got sheets. And then, one of my favorite vendors was the wonderful little jam lady that was across the Passionate Preserver, I think is her name.
Yes.
Isn't that her? She is wonderful. She's from the metro Atlanta area. So for those of you that have not heard of her, the Passionate Preserver, her name is Brenda. She is adorable. You can find her online. She makes homemade jam, and she sells them. She sells the jars. I got a little tiny jar right here. This is her bourbon peach jam.
Yeah, she definitely knows what's going on, because she had bourbon ones and moonshine ones.
Her moonshine
and a couple
mixed
wine
berry
flavors.
Yeah. I like her. I like her. She's a woman after my own heart. Let me tell you right now. She had one that was, I think, blackberry and lavender, which is amazing. So she just takes kind of flavors that you may or may not have put together before and combines them. I think this bourbon peach jam, this would be an amazing glaze on a pork tenderloin or ham or something like that, right?
Really good point.
Yeah, amazing. I want to give a little shout out to Brenda at the Passionate Preserve. If you guys are looking for sort of a unique Mother's Day gift, check her out online. I came home with about 8 jars.
Yeah, we brought Rebecca. Rebecca got quite a few of them.
My daughter flew down from Washington, D.C. to help us with the Pinners Conference, because we had a lot going on there. We were broadcasting or doing a live recording of our show, right? Nick was there for that. We had our Southern Sisters retail booth, which was, we were selling our beautiful linens and our pillows and our really sassy, fun flour sack towels. So we had a great show there.
Which was gorgeous setup, by the way.
Did you like it?
If you folks didn't go, you missed out. Jenny broke out the hardwood floors, and the lighting was, seriously, it was super cool.
Thank you for saying that. I had to bring it. There's a little bit of pressure at those shows.
Just a little bit.
There's a little bit of booth envy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm sure people were having booth envy for yours.
Thank you for saying that. I've been on the other end of booth, and I've been at these shows before where I had the saddest little booth in the entire place. And I kind of learned over the years, if you want to make a good impression at these types of shows, you got to bring it on.
Spice it up.
Mm-hmm. We had 10-foot walls, and our beautiful products were all over them, and we had a blast. And then I got to say, I had a lot of fun at the teaching the chocolate class on Saturday.
I'm sure that was a blast.
We had a sold-out class, which made me very happy to hear that people were that interested. And we gave away some free things, and we made an amazing dark chocolate ganache tart with a cherry vodka sauce.
Oh my gosh!
Hello, and I had one that was pre-made. And then I had one that I made during the demonstration. That's kind of how it worked. Back in my TV days, that's how we always had to do it. You had to have the finished product already done. Yeah. And then you had a second one that you were in the process of making.
Absolutely.
And so it was great. But, at the end of the demo, we had this one that we had just made that was sitting there, and we didn't know what to do with it. We had to pack up and get out of the kitchen. So we had a little swarm of women around us who came up afterwards.
Trying to get a bite?
Well, think about it. You either have to give it away. You can't take it home because I had 2 more days at the conference. You either have to toss it in the trash, which is a tragedy.
Oh, don't do that.
No. Chocolate in distress. And I think everybody knew that. So they came up and volunteered to finish off the chocolate tart.
There you go.
It was so wonderful. It really was. So the Pinners Conference guys, they'll be back again next year, and we hope to be there again. I do want to thank you, though, for all of your hard work, Nick. You came out and were just a breath of fresh air.
I just came out and pushed buttons.
All those ladies like you.
I don't know what it is.
You got
is
that
it the
appeal.
Beard? Is it the beard, maybe?
Yes, the manly beard.
It's the beard.
It's just the beard. Not everybody can grow a beard like that, Nick. And I'd also like to thank my son Jack and his dear friend Mark, who were kind enough to drive a 15-foot U-Haul truck to get us there and back. I was a little hesitant handing over the keys. I wasn't sure they'd ever driven something quite that long before.
But they did a good job.
They didn't hit a thing.
There you go. Perfect. Well, at least they didn't hit anything that they told you about.
They don't right? I got the deposit back when we turned it in. So it's all good. It's fantastic. Guys, we have been talking a little bit lately about the idea of happy hour. I know that's something that we have kind of shared a little bit in the past before. We've had Girls Night In, right? Jenny's Girls Night In has been a very popular topic here on the Southern Sisters radio program, typically where we're pairing nibbles and bits and things to eat with really fun cocktails. And I got to tell you, we're reinventing that at the Jenny Earhart home.
Really?
Earl and I are. Yes. And I've got some theories on that. And since we're running out of a little time in our first segment, we're going to roll that into our second segment. So I don't want you guys to go away.
It's a tease.
It's
folks.
A tease. Happy hour, home style happy hour. And it's not what you think. Well, it is, but it's not always what you think. There's more to it than what you're thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Well, guys, we're so glad that you're here to join us. And we will be back for the next segment with the food.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
Hey, KLRN radio family, this is Jenny Earhart. Check out the Southern Sisters radio show every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. Connect with me on Facebook at Southern Sisters Home with Jenny Earhart. You can also catch our Facebook Live videos, unedited and uncensored. Connect with me personally. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com.
Turn off the telly, Nelly. Come to the table, Mabel. Now sit up straight, Kate. It's time to eat, Pete. Have a banana, Hannah. Try the salami, Tommy. Get with the gravy, Davy. Everybody eats when they come to my house.
And welcome back to the Southern Sisters radio program. We are in segment 2, which I fondly refer to as my favorite segment, the food.
Yum.
Food is always my favorite part of anything that I do.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's kind of norm for the South, isn't
I
it?
agree. It is for the South. Well, so much of our culture is, based on food.
Very true.
So many of our family gatherings are, we surround ourselves with food, right?
Absolutely.
From weddings to funerals, right? Always an excuse to eat.
Absolutely. It's really funny you say that, though. That was one thing. I had a friend who, in high school, we had to attend a funeral, and after the funeral, we went to someone's house, and it was kind of the after thing, and they're like, really? We're serving food? I'm like, dude, you're in Georgia.
Right.
You're
the
upset,
more the better.
You're upset, you just eat about it.
You eat. It's always been that way culturally. I don't know if that's as much. I know that some Italian households up in the Northeast, they do a lot of food also. Yeah. But it's really, it's all about it. Down here in the South, I have 2 cookbooks, Sunday in the South and Seasons in the South. Mm-hmm. And I cannot tell you how many suggestions I've had from folks when I'll do book signings. They'll say, what's your next book? And working on one now. But one of the suggestions I've had is funerals in the South.
It doesn't seem like a good theme for a book.
It's morbid. I'm not going to do it. But, they did say I could almost see incorporating something into a celebrations in the South. Well, it's not a celebration. A funeral is not a celebration.
That's a toughie. That's a toughie to fit into kind of the lighthearted tone of your cookbooks. I
know, right?
But you're right.
I know.
Food is an integral part of that, too.
Baby showers,
Yeah, I don't know
fall
if I've
festivals,
ever gone to
weddings,
anything.
funerals.
I don't know if I've ever gone to anything in the South with like a Southern host that didn't have at least something to nibble on while you were there, right?
I know. We're good at the nibbling.
Oh, yeah.
Southern Sisters are good at the nibbling, which brings me to our next subject, which I'm kind of rolling into the second food segment there. I'm going to talk to you guys about what I call a home-style happy hour.
Okay.
Now, any of you who may have ever purchased a home that was built in the 70s and the 80s may notice something. I actually noticed this in 2 of my houses that I've lived in over the past 15, 20 years. Both of them had wet bars, a wet bar in like the like in the family room or kind of off the family room.
Yeah.
Right. My husband's last house had one sort of in the there's like a library, 2-story library room, and there was a wet bar in the corner. There was a time when the concept of, I guess, entertaining and having a bar, right, and having a little wet bar where you would have happy hour in the evening, that was a big deal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now, if you watch any of those HGTV shows, you'll see that half the time now when they're going in remodeling old homes, they're tearing out those old wet bars.
Yeah, I know.
People don't really want them anymore.
It's sad.
But I think it's a throwback to the day when happy hour, or shall we, at the very least, a cocktail when you got home from work in the evening was more of the norm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Times are changing. Now when you get home from work, what you're doing is throwing on your tennis shoes and taking the kids to soccer practice.
Yeah. You're
it's
busy.
a different.
You
It's
don't
a different
get to come
world.
home and sit down.
I
You
know.
come home and you go to work.
Right, I know. But you know what? I've been thinking about that lately, and maybe it's because the kids are out of the house now. It does get easier once the kids are out of the house. You will see the. you will enjoy this one day, Nick. I promise you,
like
it does get so
16
much better.
years, but
yeah. Hey, I paid my dues. You're paying yours now, but it will be wonderful. But I was thinking about it the other day. I was perusing my garden, and I just have it's overflowing with mint and lemon balm and herbs right now. And I started thinking about when I got home from work. I thought, we could have our own little happy hour, just the two of us. Talk about our day, that kind of thing.
That's a good point.
I didn't dress up and put on high heels and pearls and meet him at the door. That's not what I'm talking about. No. But what I did do was I whipped up a little pimento cheese, right?
Oh.
And I went out to the garden and I picked some lemon balm, which is literally taken over one corner of my garden.
Really?
And I've been at a little bit of a loss on what to do with lemon balm. We're going to talk about that a bit in this segment. But you know what I did last night for cocktails? I grabbed some lemon balm and a couple of sprigs of rosemary. And I got two double old-fashioned glasses, just kind of the short glasses. And I put in a little ice, right? Okay. And what I did was I kind of crushed the lemon balm and kind of shoved it down to the bottom of each glass. I actually did that first, put in the ice. And then I added some Prosecco. I had a bottle of cold Prosecco in the back of my fridge. Now, that's just a cold, chilled, sparkling white wine. A lot of people will use that instead of champagne when they make a mimosa.
Yeah.
It's nice, a little bit sweeter. I love it. And so I typically try to keep one of those in the refrigerator because you never know.
You never know.
A girl never knows when she needs a bottle of Prosecco. So what I did is I filled the glass up about 2/3. I added a splash of orange juice on top.
Ooh.
Stirred it around good. Now I had crushed that lemon balm before I shoved it in the bottom of the glass. So it released some of those yummy lemony oils in that. Stirred that up, and then I put that little sprig of rosemary down in there. In essence, very similar to a mimosa in that it had orange juice and Prosecco, sparkling white. However, with the addition of the lemon balm and the fresh rosemary, it gave it more of an herby flavor. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Very gardeny, very springy.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Earl was impressed when he walked in.
Well, and that's my thing. I'm not very much of a wine drinker in general. I can enjoy a little bit of a white wine, but that sounds like you're kind of adding, I don't want to say earthy because that's not the right word, but it's like a light earthy, the herbs and stuff. That sounds delicious.
It gave it a nice flavor, and I whipped it up in 2 minutes. I mean, there was nothing.
Not hard.
If you go, it's not hard mixing it together. But like I said, I'd like to keep a bottle of wine. I either need it for cooking or drinking.
Usually both.
So typically, sometimes both. So it was so good. And then we had I had whipped up a little bit of a pimento cheese earlier. I threw in some chopped jalapenos to give it a kick.
Oh, there you go.
And I even chopped up some pecans, kind of put those on top. Do you know what would be wonderful on some pimento cheese? Because I love the whole sweet, savory, or sweet, fruity, and cheesy dishes. A spoonful of that bourbon peach preserves, right? From the Passionate Preserver.
It does sound
Spoon a
good.
little bit of that over your pimento cheese. It'd be amazing.
Oh.
So I call this home style happy hour, and we sat on the porch.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think some people don't do that anymore because they almost feel like they should be ashamed for taking some time out to themselves once they get home because we're always going and we're busy and we're doing and you're supposed to be productive and there's nothing wrong with kicking your feet up on the porch and sipping on a drink for a little while.
It's the whole stop and smell the roses kind of thing.
Yeah.
We don't have to go 100 miles an hour at all times. And I'm thinking, even if you have kids around the house, there's nothing wrong with saying to the children, Mommy and Daddy are going to take 20 minutes to themselves. We're going to sit on the porch, and we're not to be disturbed. I don't see it. Now, depending on the age of the children, that may or may not work. You don't want to leave them unsupervised if they're little ones. But I do think you reach a point in your, with the children when they need to understand that mom and dad need a little bit of time together too, and that's what's good for mom and dad is good for the whole family.
Absolutely.
How about that? So I'm referring to my home style happy hour, right, as moments of calm civility in an otherwise chaotic world. Because
That's
it is.
Very well worded. That's true. That's so true.
Because we're living in pure chaos right now, if you ask me. Don't get me started on all of that. So back to the lemon balm. I threw a bridal shower last year for my daughter-in-law. And I gave as a party favor, everybody got a little lemon balm plant in a little terracotta pot, right?
Nice.
Little tiny thing. It was about 6 inches tall. Teeny tiny little things, right? Mm-hmm. So after the party was over, rather than letting it die, which is what I usually do with any kind of potted plant that's given to me, I just said, I'm going to take it out, stick it in the garden. Just went out there, plopped it in the garden. The thing is 5 feet tall.
Oh my gosh.
And about 5 feet wide now. Wow. And it's just taken over one corner of the garden. So I've been looking for ways to utilize this lemon balm, and I've come up with a few for you guys that I think you're going to love. I'm going to post these on the website too. Always remember, anything we talk about on the show in terms of recipes and ideas are also on our website, southernsistershome.com. Mm-hmm. Just click on the blog and you'll see it. How about if you've got some lemon balm in your garden, and if you don't, I suggest adding it. It has a nice, mild, lemony flavor, not quite as acidic as a lemon itself.
Okay.
Gotcha? Smoothies, you can toss it into a smoothie.
Good point.
Gives it it's healthy. Got a little bit of green in there, but it adds that nice element of citrus, mild citrus. And another great way to utilize your lemon balm is with simple syrup, which is a wonderful little southern thing that we know here in the South. I'm not sure if they use simple syrup elsewhere in the country, but we do it well down here.
Are you talking about Cairo?
Not quite. Good try. That was a good try. How about this? 1 cup of packed lemon balm leaves, 1 cup of water, and 1 cup of sugar. You bring it to a boil in a saucepan. Boil it until the sugar dissolves. Remove it from the heat and cover it. Let it stand for about 30 minutes. You want to strain the leaves from the syrup and then store it in the refrigerator. Let me tell you, this is a fabulous way to sweeten and flavor lemonade, iced tea. You could even, here's a cocktail idea for you, pour it into a little bit of club soda. You have almost like an Italian soda or vodka or whiskey for a nice summery cocktail. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
You know what else? This is what I'm going to do with some of my lemon balm this weekend, guys. Roasted chicken. So what I would do is I would take about 2 tablespoons of chopped lemon balm and about 1/4 of a cup of softened butter, and I'm going to rub that mixture into my chicken. I like to butterfly my chickens and lay them flat. They cook quicker, but then you can butter and season both the top and the bottom. How about that?
Ooh.
You can also use your lemon balm to infuse honey. You can use it to infuse vinegar. Oh, yeah. Incredible flavored vodka, and the honey. I love that idea.
Oh, wow.
You can do the same thing with mint, by the way.
It's like more versatile than lemon itself.
How about that, right? Wow. Lemon balm, folks. If you don't have some, pick some up. But just remember, it might take over your garden.
Oh, do have a bagel. Now, don't be so bashful, Nashville. Everybody eats when they come to my house.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
This is Jenny Earhart with Southern Sisters Radio, and I'm your Southern Sister. In case you didn't know, you can check us out every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. And I'd love to hear from you. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com.
Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. Mama said, Mama said, Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. My mama said, Mama said.
And welcome back to the Southern Sisters Radio program. I do like this song.
This is perfect.
Oldie but goodie, right?
Great.
And very true, because most of our mothers did prepare us for the fact that not every day is great, right? You know what I'm saying? We have our share of bad days, and I think my mother prepared me for the bad days.
Yeah.
For the most part.
There's always that little bit of I told you so they get to do when you grow up, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's allowed and expected, I think. But for those of you that are mothers, and you know what? I think this applies to fathers too. And we know that here on the Southern Sisters Radio program, we have a lot of male listeners also. And we are so appreciative of both of you, right? The women and the men. But in this case, we're talking about motherhood. Now, motherhood, think about it. For 9 months, you carry your child in your tummy, with every thought and body change reminding you that your life is about to be forever different. Yeah. That's one way of putting it, right? You anticipate the greatest odyssey known to mankind, raising another human being, right? Yeah. It's a sobering responsibility.
Oh, yes.
At least I always thought it was. After birth, you pass through the cuddle stage, right? Then you've got the toddler stage, which demands your every moment, right? Probably not having too many home-style happy hours when you've got toddlers. It's a little harder then. And you soon progress to the preschool years, right? How about the middle school saga?
Oh.
It is a saga. It's worse than high school, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be.
I think girls are meaner in middle school.
I think people in general are meaner because they're old enough to have the cognitive ability to tell you that they think you're a stinky pants. Obviously, much worse than that in high school and middle school nowadays. But they don't have the empathy yet.
They don't.
That I think some high school kids have.
I agree.
It's a lack of that disconnect in between.
I don't know if it's the brain development or
it's the whole. I'm going to tell you how I really feel, and then I really don't care how you feel about it.
Vicious, some of them. And then by the time you get to high school, I think a lot of them just sort of. They find their peers. They find their little groups that they're comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? And it's not quite so bad. I agree with the empathy thing, definitely. And then finally, we're launching towards graduation, right? So for 9 months and approximately 6,570 days.
Oh, it's so terrible when you word it like that.
You've only got 5,432 to go, Nick. No, I'm teasing. Your entire life has been consumed with thoughts of their well-being, right? Their growth, their maturity. And then, bam, they leave the nest, and your role forever changes.
Yeah.
And this does not have to be a bad thing. Now, when my first daughter went off to college, I remember coming home after dropping her off at the University of Georgia. I walked into the house, went straight up to her bedroom, laid on the bed, and cried.
I mean, and I think that's probably a normal reaction for most people. When you're first, when you're oldest, you know what,
right.
It's tough. That's got to be tough.
I know.
Because you just spent the last vast majority of your life raising them and teaching them and protecting them and caring for them. And then you're just like, all right, here's life. Poof, go do it.
Exactly. and I think maybe part of the anxiety comes from maybe them not fully understanding what our role in their life is now.
Yeah.
As mine often like to tell me when I ask them what time they'll be home when they come home from college and they're staying at the house, they often will tell me, I don't call you up and tell you what time I'm going to be home when I'm at college, when I'm away. Do you see? You see? So they go off to school and they're more independent. And so for parents, a lot of times it's, how do we parent them? And then they graduate from college. Maybe they get married, or at least they're independent adults. We hope, right? That's what we're... That's the goal. You may or may not be there. But how does a mom go from being needed to not being needed? right? Or at least not in the same way,
Yeah.
right? You always kind of need your mom to some extent.
Absolutely.
How does she thrive in a role that's uncharted? And better yet, how can she relearn the way she's always, performed motherhood? It is not easy. It's not easy for fathers either, right? Yet never before has she needed probably assurance and guidance than before. I mean, you need to understand what you're doing as you move into this sort of new role and adjusting your expectations, redefining the boundaries that you might have with your child.
Yeah.
I've had to do that a little bit.
Like I said, I'm 25. I'm not too far away from that age,
Right.
I guess, of the leaving the nest. And you're right. There's a little bit of an adjustment period there of, yes, I'm still your baby, but I am an adult.
Right.
And it's a little complicated working out those kinks at first.
It's very complicated. And a lot of times you break your teeth on the first one. You figure it out. I think it's a lot easier for me now with my third and fourth children coming up. I kind of made the mistakes with the first one.
Been there, done that a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, gosh, she'll tell you. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. But for the most part now with the later children, I think I've got a little bit better hand on it. And one piece of personal advice that I have found, and I've got some other little suggestions here to share with you, but from a personal perspective, I have found that as the kids are older, as they are developing their own life, their own interests, they have their own responsibilities, I do a lot. I find that it goes well when I do a lot less talking and a lot more listening. I'm no longer guiding their every move. I'm no longer sort of direct, when they're little, and basically you have to kind of direct when they're very young, and then you start to back off some. But at this point now, I find I get the best response from them when I don't initially jump in with advice and suggestion. I hold back a little bit.
Okay.
I wait for them. If we're in a conversation, I make sure that I listen thoroughly to everything they're saying. Guess what? Sometimes they just want me to listen.
That's true.
It's not that they're not, you may find this to be true, or as the kids get older, it's not that they're always looking for me to jump in and solve a problem for them. Sometimes just being a sounding board.
Absolutely. I think that's something that I, ran into with my mom is, you used to, I would come to you and you'd tell me what to do. And now I don't really want you to tell me what to do, but I need just you to listen to me.
Right.
And tell me it's going to be okay. Just like when I was little.
Yes.
That's all I need you to do right now.
That's all you really need. And that's an important part of their life. When you can still have so much to give and offer in terms of the relationship to your adult children, it just doesn't look like it used to look.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
How about some ideas of ways to consider fostering a great relationship with your adult children? I love this one. Nurture what lies in your control and forget the rest. Okay? Don't fixate on the things you can't change. As moms, we do ourselves a favor if we let go of what we can't fix, change, or reverse. All right? Pray over your children. It's God can change something if he wants to, but it's not your role necessarily to jump in there and fix everything. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes you just have to let things go.
Tough.
How about taking responsibility for your power of influence? Now, that's an important thing. Though our time with children under the roof may be over, our influence is not. So we can still influence them. We just want to be careful how we do it. It really, at this point, if you have adult children, it should not come across as a dictatorial method. You see what I'm saying?
Very true.
And be very cautious because, like I said, sometimes they're just wanting a listening ear, not necessarily for you to dictate how they should solve their problems. I find I will preface sometimes, I will say something like, you might consider, or what about, you know what I'm saying, rather than telling them. And then it's very important, folks, don't get offended if they don't take your advice.
Yeah. Because we still know better sometimes.
Right.
Even though you've proven over and over that you do know better.
You probably
we still
do.
know better.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you don't know better. I'm just saying be careful how you share that with your child, right? How about creating a positive environment? Now, this requires a climate where we let our children make their own decisions and likewise, let them handle the consequences. Okay? This is very true. I heard a recent show about student loan debt and about a parent it was the child's decision to attend a particular university that was very expensive and required a great deal of student loan debt, which the parent co-signed for. Okay? And is now sort of
on the hook.
In a kind of on the hook here. So, consider that as something, these are a lot of times adult decisions that your children have made, and sometimes they do have adult consequences that they have to learn to deal with, right? It's also good to consider your adult child's feelings even over your own needs. Now, this, in my opinion, is a big no-no. When we get older and our children are older and suddenly we think, you're my friend now, right? And some of that is true. However, we start burdening our adult children with too many of our own personal problems. They're really not our best friends. As much as you'd like to say, my mom's my best friend, well, she is and she isn't. You know what I'm saying? Right. There are things you would do and say to your a best friend of your own peer age that you would not probably say to your mother.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? So we cannot expect our children to fill an empty void in our life at this point, right? So that's important to remember. Recognize and respect the differences that you may have with your adult child, right? I actually had someone call me out on this once in reference to some of the interests that my son had in relation to video games and technological things. And I thought, well, that's not how I'd spend my free time, right? He was doing great in school, but he still had an interest in areas that I had no interest in. And I kept thinking to myself, well, why doesn't he do this or that? If it was me, I would be doing this and that. And I had a friend call me out on this. She actually said to me, so the problem's not him, the problem is you. And I realized she was right. Yo, she did. She called me right out. She said, he's not you. He's not like you. Respect the differences.
Wow.
Right? They're not little mini versions of us. They are their own people as God made them.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's tough.
It's still hard to watch them grow up. You know, think about that next time, guys. We are so happy that you're here with us today, and we'll be right back with our final segment.
There'll be days like this, there'll be days like this, my mama said. And then she said, someone will look at me like I'm looking at you one day.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls? Start saving thousands in interest and fees and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
Hey, KLRN radio family, this is Jenny Earhart. Check out the Southern Sisters radio show every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. Connect with me on Facebook at Southern Sisters Home with Jenny Earhart. You can also catch our Facebook Live videos, unedited and uncensored. Connect with me personally. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com.
I just pulled into Georgia. I've been driving through the night. Thought I'd grab a little bit of breakfast when I saw the yellow sign. I'm headed to Tennessee. My man's coming home to me. So miss, if you could, rush that food to me.
And welcome back to the Southern Sisters radio program. You are listening to the official Waffle House Classic Jukebox Favorite, right? Volume 2. Because there's a Volume 1 also.
Of course.
I love that. Well, this may be one of those little-known facts about Waffle House, and that is that they have their own music label. Can you imagine such a thing?
That's great.
Isn't it wonderful?
So cool.
No, I love it. Well, guys, you know the soft glow from Waffle House's black and white sign. Black and yellow.
Oh, yes.
Black and yellow sign has been beckoning hungry travelers to stop, rest, and dine for over 60 years. I mean, sometimes you just guts to have some Waffle House, don't you?
Of course, yeah.
Is there, when you're just craving it?
All the time?
Yeah.
Every day?
Well, I could. The only thing that bugs me sometimes is they bring everything on a different plate.
Yeah.
And I just want to scrape it all together and put it on one plate.
Especially when you get the All-Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the eggs and the toast and the grits and the waffle and yeah. I just need a big old trough.
The only thing that has to be separate is the waffle. The waffle's on its own plate because it is its own deal.
Yeah, with a little thing of butter and that syrup. Oh, my word.
Gosh.
I'm loving it. That really sounds good. That was one of my parents' favorite places to go for dinner, believe it or not. They'd stop by and we've been to Waffle House. I'm like, really, for dinner? If you don't know, but they got an amazing menu. Now, even the most devoted Wahoo patrons, you like that Wahoo?
Wahoo.
Wahoo patrons may be surprised with some unusual facts about the company. Now, first of all, we can't talk about Waffle House and not talk about the hash browns. Okay. Now, do you know the meaning behind all the different little, I guess they would be adjectives?
The smothered and the covered and the scattered and
yes.
I actually don't know. I thought it was just witty.
Well, it is, but of course it all means something. We know that, right? Number one is just the traditional plain, just scattered.
Just your hash browns.
Scattered means they just scattered it out on the grill.
Yep.
Just plain, right? Then there's scattered and smothered. Do you know what that one is?
Cheese, right?
Onions.
Onions.
Okay, so that's scattered with onions, right? So scattered and smothered. Then you've got scattered, smothered, and covered.
Covered is cheese.
Very good.
Okay.
So that means onions and melted cheese. How about this one? Scattered, smothered, covered, and chunked.
Chunked is ham.
Very good.
Yeah.
I wasn't even sure about that one. You know that one. How about this one? Scattered, smothered, covered, chunked, and topped.
Is that mushrooms?
Chili.
Chili. Oh, yeah.
You make a meal of it.
Chili.
Right? So you've got onions, cheese, ham, and chili.
I was going to say that you can go to Waffle House and get like the big hash brown and do all the craziness to it, and that's all you eat, and you're full.
Right? You got protein. You got everything you need there, quite frankly. I guess your veggies, that would be the potato.
Yeah.
Well, how about this one? The last one, the sixth way: scattered, smothered, covered, chunked, topped, and diced.
Diced.
What's the diced?
Ooh, is it tomatoes?
It is.
Tomatoes.
Good job, Nick. You know your Waffle House.
I go to Waffle
So that
House
is
too much.
onions, cheese, ham, chili, and diced tomatoes. That is a meal.
Yeah,
That's a
it is.
meal. That's a meal.
And then we get the single or the double or the triple.
Yep.
Wow.
We might have to go there for dinner tonight. That just sounds really good.
It does sound good.
Yeah, breakfast for dinner was one of my kids' favorite things when we were growing up.
That's the best.
I think they felt like we were breaking the dinner rules.
Yeah.
You know, eating breakfast for dinner. That's scandalous.
When you're a little kid and you eat breakfast for dinner, it's exactly how it feels.
Right?
Like you're breaking the rules.
Like you're getting away with something.
I'm breaking the rules, and mom is encouraging it.
I know.
Yeah.
I love it, right? Okay, so think about this, guys. In a year, Waffle House serves 25,000 miles of bacon.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? If you laid out all of the Smithfield bacon that Waffle House serves in 1 year, end to end, it would wrap around the Earth's equator. That's a lot. That's a lot of miles of greasy goodness.
It's a lot of bacon.
It's a lot of bacon. Everything's better with bacon. Now, we touched on this at the beginning of the segment. Waffle House has its own music label. Indeed, it does. The yellow-roofed restaurant has been concocting its recipes since 1955, but it began creating its own music more than 30 years ago. If you scroll through any Waffle House jukebox, there are 40 original Waffle House songs. Can you believe this?
Wow.
I love that. Hard to believe? Well, listen to one of Waffle House hits entitled, "There Are Raisins in My Toast."
That's where I got exposed to raisin toast, by the way.
Really?
Was at Waffle House.
That's one of my favorite
I saw
things.
it once and I'm like, what? Raisin in your toast? What?
raisins.
My dad was like, just get it. And I got it with
you
some
like
of
it?
that apple butter.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
So good.
I love that. Okay, so Wahoo's musical playlist doesn't stop there. Do you know the franchise has also dipped its toes into the syrupy waters of gospel music?
Really?
Waffle House Gospel. You learned it here on the Southern Sisters radio show.
That's awesome.
You got to find some of that.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think Alan Jackson actually did a song for Waffle House.
Did
Because,
he?
you know, you go and they've got the jukeboxes, which, by the way, if you go into a Waffle House, now they've got the new fancy, like, digital
No, I didn't know
jukeboxes
that.
in there. Because, you know, they used to have the old ones with the turnstiles
Right.
and everything on it you had to flip through.
Yeah.
Now they've got the fancy blue ones that you can, like, swipe your card. It's all kinds of fancy. But you go through the Waffle House label list,
Yeah.
and I think Alan Jackson
He might.
has a Waffle House song.
I did take a look at the playlist, and there are various artists, so that would not surprise me. Alan Jackson, go figure.
It's just so cool.
Did you know that school buses inspired the restaurant's color scheme? Aha! Co-founder Joe Rogers Sr. picked the colors yellow and black because it reminded him of a school bus. He thought it would increase the restaurant's visibility to drivers. It's a common misconception that the founder chose the colors because Joe was a graduate from Georgia Tech. That's not the reason. Because those are their colors, too.
Hey,
right?
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, and
that's
it does stand out.
That's true.
Have you ever been on the highway and you're driving and you can see, that Waffle House sign pops?
Either you see the sign or, like you said, you see the yellow roof. Yeah. And you know what it is if it's got a yellow roof.
No question, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's just iconic, iconic sign. How about this one? You're going to know. Okay, now, I knew this to be true before I started researching Waffle House because I actually listened to an entire documentary once about this subject. FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, right, has a Waffle House index.
What?
Okay, let me explain this. Waffle House takes its commitment to being open 24/7 seriously. If disaster strikes, the chain has its own disaster management plan, which includes buying portable food generators, ice, and food in advance. One of the first places the Federal Emergency Management Agency turns to gauge a natural disaster's severity is Waffle House. They refer to it as the Waffle House Index.
That is awesome.
Your house may have blown away in a hurricane, but you can get your scattered and smothered.
Wow. I remember when we had the big snowstorm a few years ago.
Yeah.
That I'm up 75 way towards Kennesaw a little bit, and there's a Waffle House right off of Chastain and 75.
I know it.
And we went into it. And we were like, you guys are open? And the guy looked at me and goes, yeah, we're Waffle House, man. We never close. And they had the waffles and everything set up, and they had a portable food generator outside.
Is that crazy?
It's so funny that FEMA detects off of that.
I know. The Waffle House Index. I think it was on NPR or something. I was listening a whole hour-long show about the Waffle House Index.
That's
and how
great.
and particularly along the coast, of the South Carolina, where they get more susceptible to hurricanes, that sort of thing. The Waffle House Index, guys.
So if the Waffle House is open, it ain't that bad.
It ain't that bad. It's all going to be okay.
Great.
Now, you may also know that Waffle House has its own merchandise.
Of course.
Yes, right? You can buy T-shirts and things of that nature, which I love. Did you know that Valentine's Day at Waffle House is a big deal? For the past 8 years or so, designated Waffle Houses have organized romantic candlelit dinners for couples on Valentine's Day. The idea began in Johns Creek, Georgia. How about that?
That is awesome.
And now over 150 restaurant locations actually participate. Now, this begs the question, folks. If your husband told you he was taking you to Waffle House for Valentine's Day, would that be a good thing or a bad thing?
Saying this as someone who, Valentine's Day is important, I would say that'd be okay as like a before or after, or like, you know how it's like, hey, here's your gift, and you open it up, and you're like, really? And they're like, haha, gotcha, here's the real gift. Gotcha. I think that would work out. Like, we're going to take you to Waffle House, and like, really? And then you get to Waffle House, and you're like, don't fill up, because we're going to the really fancy steakhouse down the road next. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that would work.
Or you pop out a really nice gift.
Yeah, maybe not as the whole kit and caboodle.
You would have to know your wife very well, don't you think?
Don't do this with a short-term girlfriend that you've just had for a few months, guys. This is not going to work out for you.
It will not go over well.
Or you can try, and if it works, put a ring on it now.
Oh,
don't hesitate. Jump on the opportunity.
Just jump on it. That is hilarious. I can't imagine. Yeah, I don't think it would bother me, but that's me. I'm easygoing in my old age.
A candlelit dinner at a Waffle House.
How about that? How about this concept? I thought this was fascinating. Waffle House has a unique call-in system. Now, have you ever noticed, and I'm going to look for this the next time I'm there, have you ever noticed that colored tile on a Waffle House restaurant's floor? Okay. Well, the sales associates are instructed to stand on the colored tile when calling in an order. That way, the person working on the grill can easily hear the order.
No way.
Look at the floor next time.
I have noticed that.
Okay. Well, apparently, the way they designed it, that wherever that tile is the best place for them to call in the order.
That is
to be heard.
awesome.
I know.
I thought it was just like oops, it popped up and this is what we had, so we fixed it. That's great.
Crazy. Now, the support team, or AKA the higher-ups.
Okay.
You got it? The higher-ups. The support team spends 1 day a year working in a Waffle House restaurant. Now, although Waffle House's support team isn't involved necessarily in the day-to-day operations of the restaurant, team members who work in Waffle House's corporate offices spend at least 1 day a year working inside the restaurant.
Good. I think that's cool.
I think it's great.
That's great.
You can never get too hoity-toity about Waffle House.
True.
Got to pull you back down to earth every now and then. And believe it or not, Waffle House got its name. You have any idea? Other than the obvious. Here was the rationale. You would think it was just because they serve waffles, which they do. But they're named originally after their most expensive menu item. Waffle House's original menu had only 16 items on it, and its most expensive menu item at that time was the waffle. The founders named the restaurant after the waffle because they thought that would generate a greater profit.
Wow.
It's been surpassed by the steak now, I would think. Wouldn't you?
The T-bone.
Waffle House, y'all. We're so glad you were here with us this week. Visit us at SouthernSistersHome.com. Send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Radio at SouthernSistersHome.com. And have a great week.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Hey, KLRN radio family, this is Jenny Earhart. Check out the Southern Sisters radio show every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. Connect with me on Facebook at Southern Sisters Home with Jenny Earhart. You can also catch our Facebook Live videos, unedited and uncensored. Connect with me personally. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.